So cast your vote, make it count. Protect the freedoms we can discount. Go right news, call and hear the sound. For liberty, we stand our ground. Now's the time, the final call, to defend our rights to stand tall. With constitutionalists for America new, we rise above, casting out fear.
I have never watched my husband work so hard and us still have next to nothing. We've never had credit card debt, and for the first time in our lives, they're maxed out. So when I see celebrities and elites with trust funds get on TV and tell me what's morally right, I'm infuriated. Because you tell me what's morally right about rationing bacon to your children. You tell me what's morally right about not being able to afford Christmas for your children. When's the last time you've had to put back socks at Walmart because you can't afford to buy them for yourself and your children? When's the last time you've asked for your family to pay for groceries for a holiday? Because that's more important than your kids getting new books and new toys. Until you have to do that, shut your mouth about who we've hoped for. Because we're barely hanging on.
I think I watched that 3 times. As painful as it was, that is an indictment of what Kamala Harris has done to this country.
The time is now to cast your vote and stand for liberty. Hello, fellow patriots. With only Election Day remaining, we stand on the precipice of what may be the most critical election in our nation's history. This isn't just another day. It's a call to action. A time for us to make a plan and get to the polls to protect our constitutional republic. As millions have already cast their ballots, remember that this year every vote is crucial and no chance is too small to take. I voted early on the first day of early voting here in North Carolina because I wanted to make sure that my voice counted on Election Day and by Election Day. And I urge each of you to do the same. You've just got Election Day now, Tuesday. Don't let any other excuse come in your way. Bank your vote and be a part of the movement to safeguard our nation. And remember to go right with your vote. The right candidate. You know the one. As Trump put on Truth Social, he said it was hardworking patriots like you who built this country. And it is hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. Let's get out there, make our voices heard, and protect the liberty and values that have made America great. And I'm hoping that by the time, if you're watching this podcast late, that Donald Trump is the winner, the clear winner. But regardless of who wins, at the end of the day, Go Right News will be here, and I will be here bringing you the truth. Now let's jump into the latest from the campaign trail and beyond. We'll be right back. Remember, we fight for what's right because it's time to go right.
Time to go right. Time to go right. Time to go right.
Welcome to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin, where we stand for liberty, uphold the Constitution, and bring you the stories and articles and voices driving this pivotal election. As patriots, we know the stakes couldn't be higher. Today, with Election Day upon us, we cover the critical issues shaping our nation, from the latest battles over election integrity to the fierce pushback against liberal elitism targeting conservative women. Our podcast aims to cut through the noise, spotlighting the issues that matter most to everyday citizens and Americans. We're not just watching the political theater unfold, we're digging deep into the politics and the people who will shape the direction of our constitutional republic. And with every story, we keep a sharp focus on what keeps our nation strong, this nation strong: freedom, respect for law and order, and the will of the people. Today, we're diving into Donald Trump's bold moves on the campaign trail, the Democrats' latest jabs at conservatives, and the growing concerns over election integrity in key states. From voting machine issues in Michigan to viral ballot glitches in Kentucky to Trump's stand with Israel, we'll unpack the latest and provide clear insights on what's at stake. Stay tuned as we go in depth, call out what needs calling out, and rally together in the spirit of #GoRight.
Oh, fuck Eminem. He hasn't been relevant for how long? They're paying him how much? They're paying Beyonce, the fucking ringleader of all the trafficking cults. You have, like, Kamala did a video with Usher, and everyone's like, yo, don't think this is probably the best time. And I'm like, literally the Epstein list, like the meme, and then the P. Diddy list, and then they're all endorsing Kamala Harris. By the way, they're all getting paid shit tons of money as well. Like, what do you care what celebrities say? They're all, like, pedophile worshipping s***ness freaks. And they're all elitists, too, which is so funny. The middle class party. I'm like, these are all elitists.
Taylor Swift only impacted 50,000 votes.
Yeah, I'm like, who cares? They're not influencing anyone. It's just they just have tons of money, they need to spend it, and they think and they know that their voters are super dumb, and they're gonna be like, oh, Beyonce, and it's like, I love her.
Former President Donald Trump has reached out to Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu with a request: bring the Gaza conflict to an end by the time he returns to office, should he win in the upcoming election. Trump's request highlights his stance on American foreign policy under his potential future leadership, emphasizing his aim for resolution and stability in the Middle East. This message from Trump reveals his dedication to seeing Israel secure a peaceful future from his commitment to supporting one of our most important allies if he's given the opportunity to once again take the helm. And that's Donald Trump, folks. He wants peace. Peace in the Middle East, peace in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. I mean, anything that we're investing our money in and giving our money to should be going towards peace, not war. Peace is what makes our country and our world better again. War only tends to destroy it. We'll be right back.
And my prayer is this: I ask God for 19 years to put me in a position where I could end the chronic disease epidemic and bring health back to our children. And in August, God sent me Donald Trump.
In a powerful response to Joe Biden's offensive remark calling Trump supporters garbage, Trump arrived at his Green Bay rally in a garbage truck, wearing an orange safety vest and riding shotgun. Trump leaned into the humor of the moment and asked the press, "How do you like my garbage truck?" He then used the vehicle as a prop to address Biden's insult head on. Joined by former NFL quarterback Brett Favre, Trump spoke directly in the everyday Americans that Biden disparaged. Favre, speaking to the crowd, voiced the collective sentiment, "We're not garbage. I see police officers, teachers, nurses, grandparents, students. I see everyday Americans that make this country great." This humorous yet powerful rally proved Trump's ability to connect with supporters while pointing out the stark contrast between the two parties' visions for America. We'll be right back.
Let me ask you, because I know you were a Nikki Haley supporter like I was in the primary, but now you're supporting Kamala Harris. And turns out Donald Trump is not even asking Nikki Haley for her help to try to reach her voters. What do you make of that? And do you think having people like Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, and other Republicans with Kamala Harris is going to put her over the edge with these Nikki Haley supporters?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it'll put her over the edge with Nikki Haley supporters. Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple. They're intimidating to him. He doesn't like to be challenged by them. And, you know, Nikki Haley will call him on his nonsense with reproductive rights and how he sees and treats and talks about women. I mean, he just can't have her around. It wouldn't work.
I think Stormy is intelligent. I don't think that's 100%. She's very smart. Yeah, Stormy.
He means is like,
but he
means on stage and stuff
power
with
over.
her.
In a fiery appearance on The View, Kamala Harris, or Kamala, I don't know. Harris surrogate Mark Cuban took aim at conservative women, implying that they are somehow lacking in intelligence or strength if they work with or support Donald Trump. Quote, Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple. They're intimidating to him. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Look at his wife. Look at Donald Trump's wife. Mark Cuban, you're blind. Cuban claimed, now Cuban's background as a wealthy investor and sports team owner only added fuel to the fire, with conservatives quickly responding to his condescending remarks. Trump's attorney, Alina Habba, called Cuban's words disgusting and misogynistic. Standing up as an example of a strong woman, Cuban insulted. Riley Gaines, former college athlete turned activist, responded directly to Cuban, saying that Cuban's remarks demean the intelligence and strengths of conservative women across the country, from teachers and nurses to military members. Sage Steele, a respected sports broadcaster, added her disappointment, calling his remarks a disrespectful line crossing. Donald Trump himself weighed in on X, calling Cuban's comments absurd, asserting, I surround myself with the strongest of women. This latest episode comes on the heels of a string of recent Democratic insults, including President Joe Biden calling Trump supporters garbage. Just days earlier. This rhetoric comes from Democrats seems to escalate with each passing day. A marked contrast of their proclaimed campaign of unity and joy. Now, I'm not knocking it because I don't want to generalize people, because there's a lot of middle ground, right-leaning, transgender people out there. But maybe Mark Cuban's ideal of a strong, independent woman that he's used to is a trans woman, like Obama's wife. Yeah. We'll be right back.
Issues with the programming of the bats with specifically from Dominion. Why was that only caught in the past few days, and why can't it be fixed? I saw the release with
Yeah, this is a nationwide issue with Dominion voter access terminals in the counties that use them. And the voter access terminals, of course, not all the machines, just the ones that are accessible, have an issue with the straight party voting and a programming issue that's, again, affected the machines nationwide. And I think all of us that use Dominion machines were unhappy to learn about this during the testing period and as early voting began. So we're working with Dominion to seek accountability on that front, and also are working with our clerks to ensure voters are aware of this programming issue that will require them to ensure they are voting every section on the ballot.
Do you think it's a bigger issue in Michigan because we do allow voters to cross over in ways that a lot of other states don't?
Because we have straight party. It's not struck me as I've talked to my other colleagues in other states. They're just as upset about it as we are. So, yeah, or surprised, I think. Yeah.
Now let's talk about some voting issues and concerns in Pennsylvania and beyond. So in Pennsylvania, it's been facing a series of concerning reports about potential voter fraud and lots of problems. In Lancaster County, over 2,500 registration applications appeared fraudulent, some allegedly written in the same handwriting and filled out on the same day. A similar situation arose in York County, where roughly 3,000 voter forms were flagged for potential fraud, with 50% eventually being thrown out. Kind of reminds me of the 2,000 mules thing and the Dropbox issues and the potentiality of somebody just filling out absentee forms for Democrat voters or whatever voters and putting them in a box and hoping that they don't be called out on it, especially in districts that are very Democratic and are, full of Democrats, not Republic-wise. Meanwhile, a Pennsylvania judge sided with Trump's campaign, allowing voting hours to be extended in Bucks County, a bellwether area, due to long lines that prevented many of the casting their votes on the final day of early voting. Democrats, including Pennsylvania's former Josh Shapiro, have remained silent on these issues, fueling concerns about transparency. Now, beyond Pennsylvania, voting controversies continue across the country. In Colorado, Secretary of State Jenna Griswold mistakenly posted passwords to voting systems online, raising calls for her resignation. Also, Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson alerted voters to a malfunction with a Dominion voting machine, which initially misregistered votes for Kamala Harris. So, gave votes to Kamala Harris, Dominion voting machine, A Chinese national studying in Michigan was charged with illegally voting in the presidential election, sparking concerns about election integrity and security. In Arizona, a judge ordered the release of names of individuals who registered to vote without providing proof of citizenship, a legal requirement in the state. So, with all these incidents, they remind us of the importance of vigilance and transparency in our electoral process, especially with Election Day just hours away. We'll be right back with our #GoRightRecap. Thanks for tuning in, and please share this podcast and follow us at social media. I am seeing a gradual increase of followers, a gradual increase of visitors and viewers. But I'm doing this podcast almost every single day, and I need to see that growth. So please let people know about this podcast. We'll be right back.
We're the Patriots, standing strong. With every voice, we carry on. It's election day, the stakes are high. For the Constitution, we testify. Trump rides in a garbage truck flare showing Joe that we're not heirs. Teachers, nurses, families proud. In this nation we stand loud. So cast your vote, make it count. Protect the freedoms we can discount. Go right news, call and hear the sound. For liberty, we stand our ground. From Michigan to Pennsylvania's gate, we're pushing back before it's too late. Fraud and glitches, they come and go, but in our hearts, we know the flow. The voice of the people, loud and clear. For election truth, we persevere. As Trump said, it's time to fight. The spirit of freedom burning bright. Now's the time, the final call, to defend our rights to stand tall. With constitutionalists for America new, we rise above, casting out fear. Mark Cuban mocks, but we don't fold. Our women are strong, fearless and bold. How Bastille and Gaines reply, for every insult they amplify. 65 million votes in line for integrity. Now's the time. Well, right news, we rally on. The will of the people never gone. Dash of freedom for what is right. With every vote we ignite the light. Constitution's heart we defend each day. For America we lead the way.
Welcome back to the hashtag Go Right Recap. As we approach the most pivotal election of our time, we've seen a staggering 65 million early votes cast. And as polling data indicates, Americans overwhelmingly support measures like requiring photo ID at the polls, a safeguard to ensure election integrity. In the battle for the White House, we have Trump calling out Democrats for their increasingly divisive language, showing up in Green Bay in a garbage truck to symbolize Biden's insult, while his conservative women supporters pushed back against Mark Cuban's patrioticizing remarks. And in Pennsylvania and other states, we continue to witness reports of voting issues, adding urgency to the call for transparency. Thanks again for tuning in to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. For more in-depth articles and updates, check us out at GoRightNews.com for the full article, links, and everything. You can also find us on Rumble, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, X, Twitter. I've had all the podcasts updated on Spreaker, which goes on Spotify and other places where you can listen to the podcast. And I've tried to make the podcast where you can listen to it, not just have to watch it. As much as you like looking at me, but you can just listen. You can support the movement to hashtag Go Right by visiting Cash App at $ Peter Boykin, the number 1. And links are available on GoRightNews.com and PeterBoykin.com. Let's stand together. Let's fight for our constitutional republic. Let's vote. Let's pray. And let's secure our future. God bless everybody. Peace.
Tonight, a community of Democratic voters in Fresno is on high alert after receiving threatening letters in the mail targeting folks who have Harris Walls signs in their front yards. In an exclusive interview, CBS 47's Jason Toktagian spoke to some homeowners who say they're taking these off-color letters very seriously.
16 different home addresses received this letter stating that their homes would be used by undocumented migrants and criminals as, quote, sanctuary residences. Neighbors I spoke to earlier today telling me they're not taking this as a joke.
To receive something like this, it's un-American.
A community in Fresno is left shaken.
We're exercising our right of free speech. This is not right.
Democratic voters with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz signs in their front yard received this letter on October 29th, stating their home will be used as a sanctuary residence for undocumented migrants.
Somebody drove around our neighborhood, jotted down all of the street addresses that had Harris signs in their yards and sent them this letter.
The letter, written in English, Spanish, and Arabic, says folks who leave Harris signs up will have their personal address released to migrants for the next 4 years. The notice was sent by a fictional organization that goes by an acronym that we cannot repeat on broadcast news.
The envelopes are addressed to DNC and the street address of where the sign is, with the return address being DNC and one of the other addresses on the list.
Carol and other neighbors contacted the U.S. Postal Service to file a case of mail fraud. The FBI and Fresno County Sheriff's Office were also notified of the threats. One neighbor tells me she threw away the letter because it didn't look real. Today she learned her on that letter.
I was angry and it's not deterring me from taking down my signs. I came down here to buy more signs.
The threats have Michelle on guard for her family.
I'm not down to cowards who are trying to intimidate me and keep me from voting. I'm a mother of 7 with 6 daughters, and I will not stand for living in the 1700s again. That's ridiculous.
The vice chair of the Fresno County Democrats says they'll do what they can to find whoever sent the letters.
We cannot let people threaten us and take away rights as important as voting, and we will not allow that or stand still for it. We will do everything we can to find out who is doing this and to get them prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
One neighbor I spoke to said that because of this letter, the Fresno County Sheriff's Office is now going to be patrolling the community. But for now, reporting in Fresno, Jason Toktagian, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
It's time to go right. Let the truth ignite. We're bringing the right news into the light. With Peter Boykin at the helm, we're taking a stand. Constitutionalist for America, we protect this land. Welcome to the place where opinions align. With liberty's flame, our voices combine. Citizen journalism, honest and true. Let's go right, it's the podcast for you. Welcome to the place where opinions align. With liberty's flame, our voices combine. Citizen journalism, honest and true. Let's go right, it's the podcast for you. It's time to go right. Let the truth ignite. We're bringing the right news into the light. With Peter Boykin at the helm, we're taking a stand. Constitutionalist for America, we protect this land. Welcome to the place where opinions align. With liberty's flame, our voices combine. Citizen journalism, honest and true. Let's go right, it's the podcast for you. Where opinions align. With liberty's flame, our voices combine. Citizen journalism, honest and true. Let's go right, it's the podcast for you. Welcome to the place where opinions align. With liberty's flame, our voices combine. Citizen journalism, honest and true. Let's go right, it's the podcast for you. Welcome to the place